Welcome. This is Put It On Record, the podcast about DJing, hosted by DJs. I am DJ Burn. Big shout out to Recio and Don't Fret. If this is your first time listening, as always, like, subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, we appreciate you. Leave a comment, like, subscribe. Hopefully you get something out of all these episodes. Otherwise, there's no point in me setting up all this stuff. So, a lot of y'all watched the last episode with A6 General. That was 90 minutes. This one will not be 90 minutes, or it might be.
Or will it?
But we got a very special guest in the building. This is a podcast about DJing hosted by DJs, but also with DJing, it's just the whole nightlife experience in general. So we previously had Marlon from Marlon Anthony Events on to talk about that side of nightlife promotion and all that. A very important part of DJing is also, when you do events, is capturing the event through photo and video for marketing and for, just making memories and having content behind that. So I had to get one of my favorite I don't even know what the proper title is. What is the proper title for what you do?
Media specialist? I don't know.
Media
content. Media
content creator is so general. Anyways, this is Kevin Rigby from Rigby Media. Welcome.
Thank you for Kevin Rigby Media. All DJ 100%. We might get there.
Oh, we get to that first, actually.
Happy to be here to definitely provide some perspective on just media and how it all applies to nightlife, and because it's a podcast for DJs, it doesn't. A lot of times, I think DJs are technically like into tech and things like that, but I think we kind of see in this generation, maybe not always. So some DJs don't have a background or understand much about film or photography. They're honed in on their craft. So maybe looking to provide some perspective for those that would like to hear it.
Absolutely. And the last episode was about content creation. If you're a DJ out there and you're like, oh, I don't want to do all that, or you don't have the talent or the knowledge to do that, that's fine. Just hire him, because no matter what you think, advertising your business is very important. So the last episode was all about doing that through social media, which is free. And if you're a DIYer like myself, or like him, as you can see, he has his own mic. If you're a DIYer, then you can get it done yourself. But if you can't, you got to pay somebody else to do it. But what you can't do is just not do it, because the only people that will be affected by that is you. Your crew will be affected negatively, but we'll get into that later. We always start this podcast off with 2 questions, and I was going to say it doesn't really apply to you because this is about media coverage, but you used to be a DJ as well. So the first question is, how did you get your DJ name?
How did I get my DJ name? So it's just, man, I feel like my DJ name story is similar to Post Malone's rap name story. It's just like a lot of Googling and trying to figure out what would a cool DJ name be. And my DJ name ended up being DJ 100%, DJ 100%. I never liked it, but I made it, and I feel like once you go there, you're kind of stuck with it. But I was always I'm very prideful about keeping it real, and I guess that's just how that came about. So DJ 100.
What's funny is that I actually met a DJ. I think it's DJ 100K.
100K.
Same thing. I mean, and like I always say on every single episode, your DJ name doesn't really matter. If you're good, they'll call you whatever you want to be called.
I feel like back when we had first started, so last episode you were saying, you don't have to put DJ in front of it. I feel like that definitely wasn't a thing, and that would have changed everything if I felt like I could have just been, some just by name, like DJ always threw it off for me. So, yeah.
It's just like a forced title, like Mr. But yes, long before the media career, DJ. We DJ a lot of events together, and eventually made a pivot. But this isn't the pivot podcast. So, second question, and this goes to this is. I mean, you can do. Well, actually, no. I want the media answer because the DJ answer is less relevant. Tell me about the worst gig you worked.
The worst gig that I worked as the media answer,
Yes.
man, I got a great DJ story for that.
Oh no, well, okay. Well,
I was
excuse me.
thinking about it. I was thinking about it when you have asked that question on other pods, and my DJ story, man, I was DJing a stroll competition at Ohio State in Hitchcock, and it was packed the whole to the brim, and it was just real. You as a DJ, I think you probably talked about this, man. You just got to be on your toes at all times, and for that event, people were bringing me all kind of stuff, floppy disk, CDs, hard drives, and loading songs and loading things, and some people had everything tracked out, some people didn't, and it was real stressful. And in all, everything was still going all right, but in all the stress, one of my speakers, I had a great sound system, and that's really what got me a lot of DJ gigs. I invested in the best speakers, maybe of anybody in the city that was mobile at the time, like on our pay scale. And that just got me gigs more than probably talent did. And that speaker, they were so loud, and they didn't go on stands or anything. And I hadn't been paying attention, but it had vibrated all the way to the front of the stage and just fell straight off the stage. It's probably like a 3-foot, 2-foot, 3-foot stage. Top speaker fell out. So now I picked that up. Somebody helped me put it back on the stage. This is mid-stroll competition. Now I'm only using one speaker. So everything is just, now it's starting to go wrong. Now people are bringing me stuff, and I'm thinking about all this money that just fell off the stage. How am I going to fix this? My mind ain't right. Then the cues came down, and this is my dog who, basically put me on to all of these events, and they're mid-stroll, and I had played the wrong song, and then they had to stop, and they were like sweating, and he comes on the stage, and he's like, man, what, like, I'm supposed to be better than that, especially for him, you know. So I felt real bad, and in turn they lost. I don't know if they would have lost otherwise.
What year was this?
Maybe 2008, 2009, 2000. Yeah, probably 2009.
Because I think Marlon was out of college at that time, but he's very adamant that they won every stroll competition, the Alphas. And so I was like, maybe the Qs are going to lose anyway because the Alphas was there. But I'm going to ask him about that.
Kappa's won that one. I'm pretty sure Marlon was there. But yeah, that was a wild DJ gig. In terms of media, I feel like I haven't had a really bad experience. I haven't had anything, like I haven't dropped the camera or dropped the lens or anything crazy. Like I've had events that I definitely feel like were like high stress, more weddings more than anything. I did a wedding, and definitely as the day progress, like everything has to be planned out to a T, and I have a pretty high standard. So I don't really, for a wedding, I don't really want to go with the flow. And this is how I found out I'm not really interested in shooting weddings because of the high stress. And I definitely missed some shots that you just can't get back. You can't reset the day. Brides get out of their dress, and like there's definitely been times like that where it's like I missed that shot and I'll never get it back. How do I make up for this on the back end? Luckily, I've never gotten complaints or anything like that, but yeah, nothing crazy stands out when it comes to my worst media experience. I haven't gotten beat up or anything yet, so
not yet. There's still time.
Yeah.
And you mentioned something about weddings, and this is an aside, but like I just got an inquiry for a wedding out of town for a large amount, and I was just so like, I don't really want to. I like doing weddings because they're word of mouth, because people
Yeah.
just basically want the DJ Burn Club experience at their wedding. But when it's somebody I don't know, there's certain expectations as far as equipment and entertainment, and I'm just like, I just want to come play music. So weddings are high stress because unlike other events, you're, especially DJs, you're at the mercy of the bride and groom. You're there to provide exactly what they want. Whereas a club, you're there to do your thing.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, wedding definitely high stress because especially when you're capturing media, like you said, when the moment's gone, it's gone. There ain't no take backs,
Absolutely.
there ain't no do overs, and I could see how the money doesn't isn't worth it as far as stressing yourself out.
Yeah, I've definitely had gigs, and not weddings specifically, but I've definitely had times where I've had two camera setups and just kind of gotten going with one camera and gotten in the flow of the event, and you know, the second camera stops recording at 30 minutes, and you come back over and you're like, I don't, it stopped, and I don't know how long ago it stopped, but we gotta make it work on the editing side.
Like right now, if this camera cut off, I mean it's cool. Like, but at a wedding, it ain't cool. Like the
Nah.
moment's gone. Or I always say weddings are high stress because during the ceremony, absolutely nothing can go wrong. Imagine they're walking down the aisle and your computer cut off
Yep.
or your controller freeze up. It's like you messed up their memory forever. They're never gonna forget. Like, you remember at your wedding with the DJ? Like it no.
Yeah.
It's so much stress, but that's also why, well, that's how I justify paying more, is because I want to make sure that they know whoops. They know like, oh, my bad. Is no, you're gonna get exactly to the T. And if something does mess up, it's not gonna be because of me. It's because the planner or something else. But it's not gonna be the DJ's fault. But
Yeah, for
other weddings,
DJ wise, I think it's similar with photography and media, and that, I mean, that really goes back to my background of how I don't know, we might get here, but how I pivoted from DJing or other things into media is just, you just have to be so tech savvy. So being a DJ at a club using a controller or a setup that is just there or doesn't move, or it's your own equipment and you're pretty confident in it, is one thing, but like something's going to go wrong. Like something, things go wrong at the club all the time. Things go wrong, but something's going to go wrong, and do you have the next thing in line to make sure? So you got to bring more equipment to weddings. Like you got to have a backup controller at a wedding. Not everybody got, I just really believe you got to have a backup controller. You have to have another way to make that music happen.
that's funny you say that because there's some DJs that have backup laptops. There's some DJs that walk around with two backup
Yeah.
laptops. For me personally, for weddings, I have an extra phone. I have every song they need in the ceremony on a playlist on two different
Mm-hmm.
phones and an adapter to plug it in. And for the ceremony, I don't even plug in my controller. It's straight from laptop to the sound, the mixing board,
Right.
because it's like I don't want a controller to get in the way because the controller mess up. No, but my laptop I use every day, and it's less likely that blows up. But if it does, I still got my phone. It's still in order. I won't have the cue points, obviously, but
Mm-hmm.
once again, there ain't no my bad when it comes to
Nah.
somebody's ceremony. Like you're getting paid several thousands of dollars to make sure everything's on point. So
Yeah.
you gotta be prepared. And that's actually the next subject. Well, the first subject is, how did you get into media? How, like, what was that pivot like from DJing to doing the media thing?
Yeah. So I was always just, even as a kid, comfortable with technology. I the grew up in, you know, late 90s and early 2000s. So we had big video cameras that we had more portable video cameras than our parents had. They didn't have to sit on our shoulder.
Yeah.
So I had video cameras and things like that as a kid, and we would run around and make, you know, like skate videos. I wasn't a skater, but the vibe of, like, you know, just that time's version of vlogging, and we never edited any of that footage.
Just
You
shoot
got
it.
what you got. So but I grew up tech savvy and always had, just was always comfortable with gear. which helped me be a DJ. Like that, the learning curve was less because I just was technical. And during really the biggest thing was during COVID, there was a need to just capture content. So for work, I had to just make a full pivot and really learn how to use today's video and photo equipment to capture content and put different put different stuff out there and record people at distance and record Zoom meetings and just do all of this stuff. So I learned how to edit more. Did basic edits for Trek's music videos and stuff like that, but just whatever iMovie stuff. But then really learn how to edit more during COVID, which then led to me being that boredom time. Like I would do that outside of work too. So it eventually decided, yeah, I like this. Buy my own gear. I actually with the big propeller to get me to just stop DJing. I pretty much stopped DJing at the clubs. But I was still doing like school gigs and corporate gigs and some weddings and things like that. But I had the big thing was like, oh, I'm gonna pick up this camera and put that down. I sold all my equipment after there was an orange soda. We did the festival or the whatever at Westland Mall during COVID. Oh, yeah. So y'all had brought in Busy Bone and Twista. So had my work gear. Actually, I hadn't even bought my own gear yet, but had the opportunity to come out and do some photos for that, and the photos turned out crazy. And I was like, way better than I even expected, and I think better than other people expected.
No, I'm gonna put the photo in the video. Those photos was fire, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I told you if you didn't do it already, like, man, post these and tag them.
Yeah.
Because like as an artist, like I'll be like, oh, this is fire. Like this looks like stuff we would see on the internet, and you did it. So
yeah, and I think that was it. Is like, oh, like I was good at DJing from a technical side, but I DJ'd for money. Like that, I never DJ'd for the love of DJing or music or whatever. Like it was for something to do when we were younger, early 20s, late 20s, whatever, and then to get money. Like I definitely made the pivot. And then this was, oh, I could be good at this and I like it, and it's still, I mean, for me, these are side gigs, and this one just lined up more, I think, and for money, and it's just it's similar to DJing in a way. Like you play a song, you do a mix, you have the moment, and you get that instant gratification, and you finish a good set, and like by the crowd, by the vibes, it was good. You get that instant gratification, and I think photo more so is similar because you take the picture, you can kind of look at it.
Oh, that's hard.
Immediately like that. That's hard. You have a vision, you can execute it. So I think that was part of the big reason, kind of what got me in it. And shout out to y'all for kind of paving that path to have the opportunity to do something like that and spark some creativity.
And shout out to your former employer for letting you use that equipment too, because I'm pretty sure that gave you more experience than you wouldn't have outside of that. So, weddings, you do orange soda, you do hips. So, any image you've seen for orange soda since what, 2022?
Something like that.
Images and videos.
2022,
more than likely him or Kai. And like I think Flix did one of it, but not the same level. So this is the main person for orange soda. You've been doing hips how long?
Just started work hips last year, so 2025. So pretty much all of 2025 hips, just video though.
Yeah, shout out to Mizzle.
Yeah,
that's my guy. What other type? So you've done weddings. What other type of events have you covered?
Yeah, so nightlife, day life, concerts, weddings, school events, corporate events, nonprofit work, family photos, individual portraits. Actually, a lot of food and restaurant. done some documentary work, music videos, stuff at churches, sports, podcasts. For the first year, pretty much anytime somebody saw me with a camera, they asked me if I did something. I said yes, and I did it, just to figure out, what's my lane, or is this literally just about saying yes to everything because it's solely about money, and I'll say yes and figure it out. So I've done almost everything, like that I have had access to. I've said yes. I don't like doing everything. Right now, we're kind of back to, just because of work and time, back to just doing a couple things. Hips, orange soda, everything hours events, and then
Love language.
love language.
February 7th at Cure.
So yeah, back to really just kind of doing a few things and trying to make sure, I do those few things well and make connections with others, and really also, I'm not afraid. I refer a lot, like I refer a lot, and I really have interest in kind of also building up a new crop. Everybody uses, once you get in a certain space, oftentimes you see the same photographers and videographers. I feel like we saw the same two photographers, like our entire college and early adult.
Shout out to Flicks and J Club.
Flicks and J Club. I found a J Club photo of me recently on Facebook. They were everywhere, and I think that's great for that person. But yeah, I think any way that I can refer and bring other people into the fold, like I love to do that too.
That's good. I think the lesson in that is you learn exactly what you didn't want to do. Yeah. And you're like, nah, I'm cool on the corporate events. Me too. That's why I don't do graphic design for corporate events anymore, because it's like, I feel like DJing, you're either creative or you're a utility. And a lot of people want to hire you for the utility aspect of, hey, I need somebody to DJ. I need somebody to take pictures. But they don't want you to be creative because they got their own vision. And because they're not a creative, they don't understand like what you want. That's not really what you want, or it's not going to be effective. And then you got to fight back and forth with them. Like, no, this is the way I think it should look as a professional photographer, videographer, graphic designer. And they're like, no. I'm like, well, all right, I'll just do exactly what you want. I'll take your money. I'm never working with you again, and I'm not doing 80 different drafts. And you're just like, I know it when I see it. I'm like, no, I'm not getting paid for all that. So
yeah, I think a lot of times too, and this is for both, DJs that say yes to everything. You just can't do everything. You could do some things great, but once you just say yes to everything, you might get booked. You might have a day of back to back bookings. Like, you're not going crazy at everyone. You're going to take a break.
Natural fatigue.
Fatigue, yeah, and also, we're in the creative space. Like, people that don't know the work that it takes to be a DJ, to be a photographer, a videographer, a graphic designer. They don't value monetarily. They don't value the services that are being provided always at a high level. So for me as a photographer, I might be doing a corporate or corporate-esque event, and I'm there. I'm planning to be there, and then you might get an ask, right? Hey, since you're going to be here, can you also do headshots of everybody that's going to be here at the event that wants to? And it's like, I can facilitate and provide that service, and here's what that would take. I can do it for you and do everything else, and the quality of everything is going to come down.
Yeah.
Because if you want to pay me this rate and you only want one person here, I'm not going to be somewhere. If you want me to take headshots, then that means I'm not over there at that thing getting those flicks or that video. So the quality, everything kind of comes down to what you can handle. But I can facilitate other people being here.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, you don't want to pay that price, or this is what a headshot is going to take. we're gonna need this type of space. We to do it the way that it should be done. It just things end up costing more.
And people don't understand that. They're just like, well, you got a camera, can't you just do it? And we've worked with a company that didn't value creatives at all, but would pay like caterers and food and all that top dollar.
Mm-hmm.
And so to put it in, like, let's do that comparison. That's like if you have a catered lunch and you're like, oh, why are you here? Can you do breakfast as well? Like, no, like just because I got food doesn't mean I can't just spread it around everywhere. So same thing with the with photos. It's like, well, you got a camera, can't you just take more shots? And so I just don't think people understand the once again, they think it's just a utility. Like you have camera, take picture, and it's slightly more involved in that, I would say.
And I think a lot of photographers are. I think the answer oftentimes is yes.
Yeah.
And I'll just do everything, but the quality comes down. Like it's just natural that if you're going to run all day, you're going to be at an event for 4 hours and it's just going to be you and you have no help and you're bouncing back and forth for all these different things. You're much better off. Just like weddings are a great example. I think it's wild to just have one photographer, one videographer shoot a wedding. Like you just can't be everywhere to capture everything. So the expectations have to come down. So I'm really big on helping the client understand the expectation. Absolutely, I can do this. Here's the top package, right? Packages, whatever. This is going to be your best bet. We're going to have one photographer, one videographer, both dedicated to each of those things. I can do both, and it's going to cost less for me to do both, but this is the give and take of that.
Yeah. I guess I didn't even realize until I started doing weddings recently that there'll be strictly a photography team, strictly a video team, which means that it's 2 photographers, 2 videographers, and they usually come together. And instead of just having one person run, like you said, that you can't be everywhere all at once, especially like just thinking about doing the groomsmen and the bridesmaids, like that usually happens at the same time. You can't run back and forth.
I think we have that conversation when it comes to orange soda. Like some events, your typical monthly orange soda that is in Forum or Scully's, it might be fine to have me just doing solely photo and solely video, or not me doing both photo and video.
Yeah.
I could get everywhere, capture everything, but if it's something bigger at the key or the anniversaries where we want more people, more things to make sure everything is captured, then we'll bring somebody in to do solely video, and then I'll focus on photo or vice versa. So and then sometimes when I don't feel like breaking a sweat all night and doing both, like I'll bring somebody else in out of my budget for that
just to keep the quality up,
just to keep the quality
expectations. Speaking of that, this is a terrible segue king. Let's talk about equipment. I like talking equipment, and so if you're listening to this, you're a photographer, videographer, or if you're a DJ, you're trying to capture content. You want to know what people use, just so you can have. There's certain things have better quality, and there's pros and cons to everything. So, what do you use when it comes to photo and video?
So currently, what I use, I have a Sony A7 IV. So this camera is probably like 4 years old at this point. Sony A7 IV. It shoots 4K, shoots 4K 60 with a crop, shoots 120 for slow mo, does all the things, does everything I need. It's a versatile camera that does photo and video, so it meets my needs. Are there better cameras out there? Absolutely. Even at the price point currently, yes, there are other cameras out there, but that camera body meets my need right now. I have a Tamron, so a third-party lens, a Tamron 35 to 150, 2 to 2.8 variable lens, which it's a great lens for events and Just it's so versatile. 35, have a wide angle and to be able to shoot, distance. If you put it in perspective at a nightclub or on, I can be in the crowd getting footage of someone pretty close up to me, and then at the same time at somewhere like Forum or a Scully's, be on the stage and zoom in all the way to the back of the crowd to capture something that's going on, far away. So 35 to 150 provides a pretty good range, and I never really have to change lenses throughout the night. I go up on balconies and be able to get all the way close ups on the DJs from the balconies and things like that. So that is pretty key. I used to have two camera bodies on me before I got that lens. So I would have a camera body strictly with a wide angle lens on it, and then a camera body with a more medium to long range lens on it. So now I don't have to do that anymore. So and then pretty much I have a Sony 770 to 200. Don't use that a ton with events, more for sports and outdoor things. And then everything that comes with every accessory known to man. I feel like mics, cages, flashes, video lights, gimbals, all the things. I've rigged out my camera for video to have the monitors, and I've done it all. I kind of just like shooting with a camera body though. So
you only have one body?
Currently, yeah. I traded in a body for a lens.
What do you have? Was it 6400? What do you have?
That when I had the 6600, Sony A6600.
So now just A7IV.
A7IV, yeah.
Cool.
And that was a borrowed from work body. Shout out to the job. The A6600 was.
In case you guys are wondering, that's a Panasonic Lumix S9. That's a Sony ZV-E10. I also just bought a Sony ZV-1 or something. Mm-hmm. The cheaper version of that for Bree, so she can learn how to use it. And then when she don't use it, I can use it as a third camera.
Yeah. That's what I say when you're thinking about DJs and what kind of equipment that you use. One of my favorite sayings for photography and video, for people that are doing photography and video and starting out, is the best equipment is the equipment that you have. So if you have a phone, if you have a cheaper, older maybe camera, use what you got. But for DJing and nightlife, that doesn't always apply, because you really do need equipment that is good in low light. So you cannot, sometimes you think, oh, I'm going to go spend $1,000 on this camera, and what if it's not a camera that's good in low light? Or I'm going to get this GoPro and just expect it to be good, and maybe that version of the GoPro isn't good for low light. So you have to, that's something I think a big thing for DJs who want to make content is, just Googling like the best low light camera for this specific budget, and I think there's a range that will work.
Yeah. I feel like, well, first of all, you said a lot just now that's very important. One, the best equipment is equipment that you have. So, and I'm going to add on that to say, as we all know, you get the $7,000 camera, it's not going to make you a better editor.
Absolutely not.
And it's not going to be like, oh, instant success with my footage. Like, you're still going to have to put the effort in to learn how to use it, and editing and color grading and lighting, and most importantly, the effort to put the stuff out. So you buy the camera. A lot of people will hit me up, is like, oh, what kind of camera you use to record your content? And I tell them.
Yeah.
The follow-up question then should be like, okay, so how do I edit? But there's like, okay, cool. So you can't just go buy the Insta360 or the GoPro 360, set it up, and then boom, now you're viral, because there's a whole nother part of that. So
yeah,
before you go invest in some more equipment, especially if you're shooting content at the crib, if you got an iPhone 12 Pro Max or later,
yep,
you can shoot 4K, 30 frames, and 24 frames. It's good enough to get the job done. And so the camera, is not. It's kind of like this matters to me the most. It's like when you fat and you buy some small clothes that motivate you. Like, no, that's not gonna make you lose no weight.
Nah.
You're just gonna have a bunch of small clothes you can't fit. So instead of buying a camera that motivates you to use it, utilize what you have to the fullest until you need
Max it
more out
out.
of it. Max it
Yeah.
out. That's why I bought this camera, because it's better to be able to crop for social media. I didn't need that before, but now I needed a second camera that was better, so that a secondary camera would be better quality. It's a need.
Mm-hmm.
Not just like, oh, if I buy this, then it's going to motivate me. No, because that money's already spent, and now you just got something you're not going to use because you was never motivated in the first place. What were you about to say?
Yeah, I was just like that. Exactly that. I tell people that all the time. They do not want to hear it. I use your iPhone. Like, you figure out how to use that first, because you're more likely, especially now. I tell my son that you're more likely now to know how to already edit on CapCut, know already how to edit on some sort of app or iMovie. Like, so how are you going to? You got to take time to learn how to edit on something else. So you might as well do what you know. Do what you know as you're learning other things and getting going. Like, you can start taking photos and taking video on your iPhone. Some of the best that I my eyes were open a few years back. People, they're my one of my coworkers, like, they would use their iPhone for everything, video, and people think this person's spending $7,000 for videographers to come out, and like, they just know what they're doing. If you know what you're doing with an iPhone, like, you can do great things. Can an iPhone shoot sports photography? Maybe not. Is it going to be the best option for low light? No, but it's going to be the best option for low light if you don't know how to edit anything else and nothing else ever comes off of your SD card. You just end up being like me with tapes when I was a kid. Like that, you just have a bunch of videos on cards somewhere that you can't edit. It's better to have those videos in your Photos app, drop them straight into CapCut, put an edit together, and now you're putting content out or recaps out. By there's a lot of content creators that have purchased cameras, and that camera is just sitting somewhere, and they found better options, putting their iPhone, getting a gimbal for their iPhone, just because they know how to do that.
Two things. One, there's a very popular social media influencer who has, this is crazy. If you got two different Instagram accounts that got more than 1 million followers, you up. And she uses an iPhone. One of our good friends, Fit by Des, has a A7 3 or 4 at the crib that she doesn't even take to the gym anymore, because she said my phone is just more convenient. And her content always go crazy. So
And they're using the face camera.
and
And they're
and
using
they're
the
using
face
the front
camera.
camera too. They're not even using. So to punctuate that, the equipment is not going to shortcut the hard work.
Not at all.
So
it can definitely elevate. Like, you put the hard work in,
and now you elevate.
Now you're elevating. Now your footage isn't. Now your nightclub footage isn't so grainy because it's not using AI and all this extra, software to make it. It's not using fake light. Like, so. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So equipment's not going to shortcut the hard work. Just like buying the most expensive controller is not going to make you a better DJ. But let's talk about content creation.
Yep.
So for those that don't know, two different types of content is short form and long form. Your short form is your reels, YouTube shorts, TikToks. Long form is like, your YouTube videos, or I don't know if people still use Vimeo, or I thought about this earlier. I just wanted to bring it up. It has nothing to do with nothing. That video I shot for Trek, that was pretty, look, for the equipment I had the little Sony like handheld camcorder. The framing, I feel like the scenes we did, that shit was cool. Very low quality. I look back at that on YouTube from time to time. I'm pretty sure I still got the file, and I edited that in iMovie. And I want to say it was like a FireWire connection. All this was cool to me. And so, like, back to what you said earlier about like how, you take a picture, you're like, oh man, this is hard. Like, I think for me, the visual stimulation of being able to see something in your mind and being able to capture it in a video, and then the framing and be like, oh, I brought my idea to life. That's exactly what I was doing. What song was that? It'll be a different track. We shot in the Short North. Because I
Oh.
remember we were walking. We started out. No, that was a different video. When we were in Starbucks. That was by Albert.
Oh, right.
Dang, I don't even know what the
Oh.
song is, but I gotta go look it up. But that video is that was probably my beginning of content creation because it's like I got this idea in my head. Trek, you're a great subject. Let me bring it to life for you. But anyways, content creation, short form, long form. Since you capture content for Hips Orange Soda, what is your thought process as far as like the video that you capture and how you're going to put it together later? Like, what's the game plan? I know you just don't go and just shoot and just try to make something out of nothing. So, what's the game plan going into events like that?
I just go in and shoot and make something out of nothing. I mean, honestly, it really just it depends if there is for Hips and Orange Soda specifically. I'm going in to cap with the goal of capturing every moment that I can capture, and then yes, I do try to fit those moments in, but it's important for me to have a shot list in mind of what I need to capture. So because I've been doing these events for so long, it is kind of just like robotic at this point. Just going in and just doing my thing. But initially, yeah, you're like, okay, I definitely got to get, I have to get the DJs. I got to get every DJ. I have to get very important people, definitely folks that are there that people know or that are involved in the event in some sort of way. You want to get photos and video of them, and we'll just speak video specifically. And then depending on the vibe of the event, you want to capture that vibe in moments. So every video, I don't go into an event knowing like I'm going to use this song tonight because I really do, because I often there's multiple videos that come out of one event. So you can't necessarily go into it with I'm doing a recap for this specific song. I'm going to do it this specific way because what if those things don't happen? But you capture everything, and um want to make sure to get, I always want to make sure to get wide crowd shots, but not only just big wide crowd shots, but I want to get the shot where people's hands are up in the air or people are there's motion going on. The crowd shots of people's faces, people dancing, close ups of people. Um, Depending on the venue, or I don't do it as much anymore. I don't know why, but drinks being poured or shots like that. I think I've pivoted away. I pivot away from some of the things that are more long form content oriented that tell a story, because that isn't the way social media currently work. The algorithm doesn't work that way anymore. We're very much, this video has to get going. Like there's not currently, in my opinion, there's not time to tell a story. You got to capture attention and keep attention, and that's what gets the views, and then that's what gets the people to stay on the video, which then gets the video more views because the algorithm pushes the video out to more people. So I can't get them to stay on a video with a wide shot of the venue or a nice cool drone shot that sets the scene, and somebody pouring a drink with the does that deserve an AO?
I didn't
Somebody,
even.
somebody pouring a drink with the slow motion of the liquor coming out, or like it's harder to capture those moments. I personally like that better to tell the story of the night, but that doesn't fit in the algorithm right now. Those type of things would fit more for content that's going on a website.
Yeah.
Um, and then you get into when you're using content for multiple, when you're capturing multi-use content, there's a whole another level of, am I shooting this horizontal or am I shooting all vertical? We've decided for the most part, Orange Soda, like just shoot it all vertical. It's for social media. And I'm dreading the day when you're like, hey, we need a horizontal video of everything you've shot and ever in life and to put on the internet. because it's all vertical now. But if you have the right content, you can shoot horizontal and crop in, make it vertical. You just lose quality, and especially in low light, it gets grainy. So, and then the file sizes are bigger because if you want to crop in for it, you want to shoot all 4K. You want to shoot 8K. Now you want to shoot 8K because it's too grainy, and now you got to crop in. Now you're needing 1 million terabyte hard drives.
The last podcast shooting with this camera, which is 6K, 3x2, it was 90 minutes. It was 120 gigabytes. That was literally 2.5 times the size of that camera, which is just 4K, 30 frames. So a lot of the stuff you said is very important in media capturing, and I think it relates to DJing. One, I mean, you can go in and freestyle this DJing and content creation, but you still want to freestyle with purpose. Mm-hmm. So shot list.
Yeah.
Like, and this is how I relate to DJing is like, some sets I do song by song, I know I'm going to play, but you got to read the crowd. So it's like, this is what I want to do when I DJ at Hips, for example. Play something that they don't know, get them to dance, get them to sing, get them to interact with each other. Mm-hmm. So that's my shot list. So you have a shot list like, hey, DJs, VIPs, crowd, up close shots, people singing along, up close shots, people dancing together, all that. But it's not like you can say line by line, hey, I'm going to get X, Y, Z because you flowing with the night.
Yeah, and you don't always know when things are going to happen. And that, especially as a, event-based videographer and photographer, it's important to be willing. I think this is something that often like people miss. You got to be willing to move and sweat and get out there. You cannot be stationary, even if the event sometimes doesn't allow you to move. So you think about orange soda or think about a Hips, you're cramming 500 to 1,000 people in a space. So once the event fills up, it's not realistic for me to always be in the crowd, right? So I want to make sure, and I'll expand on why, but I want to make sure they get the close-up footage of people dancing and things like that before, say 1 a.m. Before it gets full, I'm going to be moving around while it's easier to move around to get that footage so that I've checked that box. And then once it's full, now there's no reason for me to be shooting wide shots when it's not full. So I don't waste my time on wide shots because I've learned they're not going to be used. You're never going to, the vendor or the client doesn't want them. And then you're also not going to use them in your recap videos. Why would you use this wide shot of 200 people when you have one of 800? So then once the party fills up, now you're focused on more wide shots. And I used to struggle to try to get in the crowd and move around and do all these things. But what I realized is that once I'm in there, what happens when something's happening on the other side of the room? You're stuck. You can't go get it. And I mean literal, sometimes stuck. Like, it is hard to move, especially moving through a crowd with equipment. You're not just sliding through, you're holding cameras up over your head. Camera got flashes, lights, whatever on them. And now you're stuck. So I like to position myself when the event fills up completely. I like to position myself in a place where my lens and equipment comes into play, that I have the reach to get different parts of the facility, and it looks like I'm close. So I position myself in a place where I can capture a moment that's happening here, and then if a moment happens over here, I can just move to the other side of the stage, the other side of the balcony, and capture a moment that's happening in another area. But that helps me to, knowing how the events go, I know what shots I need to get before it fills up too.
DJs, if there's anything to take from this, is that this is why this is not cheap. Like, all this has to be considered. And if you hire a videographer and this is not their mindset, the final product is probably going to reflect that. Also, I wanted to say this earlier. I don't know if you agree or not. If you buy that $6,000 camera and you shooting on auto, what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
Like I learned in my digital photography class at Columbus State, like auto is like you get way better results just putting everything on manual and learning what everything does. And I know some photographers and videographers that shoot on auto, and I'm just like, one, you can do it with your phone. Two, I can do that, so I wouldn't pay you to do that.
Yeah, and you can still shoot, like I shoot on manual, but there's certain settings where I have them on auto
Yeah,
so that I dictate the work that the camera is going to do for me
yeah.
rather than
Let it,
allowing
let it
the
do it
camera to
all.
do all of it
Yeah,
for me. So I will use an auto ISO,
absolutely.
and then limit the ISO to the limit where I know it's gonna, for my camera, I limit it to 8,000. I know 8,000 is gonna be a little bit grainy, but for social media and all of that is perfectly fine. Where it could go all the way to 128,000, right?
You know,
So
it's
I don't
crazy.
let it go that far. I can tell the camera stop here. So I do use auto ISO. I'm not scrolling my finger every time. Also limit the camera. I shoot on a specific aperture and keep that. So now I'm only controlling. Oftentimes I'm only controlling shutter speed in the moment. So you, I'm still on manual, but I'm telling the camera, all right, do these things in these two areas, and then I'm gonna control. I'm gonna control this one.
Same thing with like DJing.
Yeah.
It's there's a sync button and all that, and all of this technology is important to help us do our jobs better, but it shouldn't be doing our jobs for us. It's like using the technology advances to amplify your talents as opposed to just it's a crutch because without this you wouldn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing I wanted to say is I've had the privilege of following DJ Chubby Swag around Howard Homecoming, and the first year I didn't go in the crowd, and the shots were very limited.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I did go in the crowd, mind you, this is the bullpen, which is a open area space by Nationals Park. It's probably 4,000 people, and it was but the nuts in there, so it was thick, and so trying to hold up the gimbal in the crowd, I feel you. Like
Yeah.
going in the crowd is important to get that POV, but getting stuck in the crowd is not cool. So you just being able to maneuver, and like you said, like you're not going to get through a whole event without sweating, without bumping into people, and trying to like you got to maneuver, because you got to get the shot. You got to be able to, you got to have. We were at the Fillmore, which is like the Newport here, but it's in Silver Spring, so it's a bigger concert, and it's like you got to have the courage to go in certain areas and get them shots and just be like, oh, well, I'm
Mm-hmm.
here to do media, and not just like, oh, I don't know if I can go
Yeah.
back there. Like, actually, that brings me to a good point. I don't know if I wrote this down or not, but because I'm not a professional photographer, videographer, I struggle trying to get people on camera because it's like I know if somebody comes to the camera to me, it's either
Like
one or two
looking at
things.
the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's either one or two things. You go to somebody with a camera, they're either going to feed into it or they're going to be like, get the camera out of my face.
Yep.
And the get the camera out of my face thing is like, I'm like, like,
Yeah. No, that hurts
like,
your soul.
it hurts my soul. So that's why I'm like, but you'll come to find out that a lot of people turn up for the camera. So if they
Mm-hmm.
see it, they'll go crazy. And that's what you want to capture. So talk to me about interacting with the people at these events and how that goes.
Yeah. That for me, I wouldn't. It's hit or miss sometimes, honestly, and you have to be like. Sometimes it makes you mad when you're like going up to somebody to record them and they're having a good time, and then like they give you the stank face, or they act like they don't want you there.
They be like,
Yeah, like get it out of my face, like something like that. You gotta humble yourself, like
I be taking it personal, like,
yeah,
damn,
you
what you
do
mean?
take
Like,
it personal. And this, so it just really, the flow of the night matters. I think of when you're going up to people, your demeanor matters. If I don't have a welcoming, inviting face, or oftentimes like there's you as a subject, as a party goer, you have to be comfortable with the person that's filming you.
absolutely.
So if they don't know me, then and they're not under the influence of alcohol
Yeah.
or they're not just naturally like, I'm going to get on this camera so I can be on the recap video, then they're less likely to give you what you're looking for.
Right.
So it's better. And then you make that mental note. I'm going to come back when they're having a good time. Like I want, who you want to take video of and photos of. So it's just like, yeah, they might not want this right now. Because they're not comfortable yet. They're not in the moment yet. They're just hanging out with their friend. I'm gonna come back and try to get a more natural moment of that person. So there's a lot of it that's on you as the videographer or the photographer. You have to be really personable, honestly. Like sometimes I definitely ask, can I take your pictures? Would you guys like to do a video? Can we do this? Can we do that? And that works sometimes. There's definitely the people that are like, see the camera and would dance in front of the camera for 15 minutes. And you're like, all right, I'm all done.
I got to move on.
I got to move on. And it's really just about, it's about the way that you approach it. But it's a big win if you know those people. And that's hard for me right now because honestly, with these events, I don't know if you notice, but we're getting older.
Yeah, bro.
Right? So they're straight up like there are younger party goers.
Bro, there are our friends' kids in these parties.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, I need to go home.
Yeah, and they're not going to be as comfortable with me shooting them as they would someone their own age.
Exactly.
So the outcome literally just might be different because the party goer is not as comfortable with me. Maybe I'm not the same. I am not the same complexion of the rest of the party, right? No, like real talk.
That's a fact.
Like who is this white dude? They don't know that oftentimes they don't know that, especially depending on where the club is or what the event is, they don't know that I'm with Orange Soda or with Everything Ours, or like they don't know who I am or why I'm there. What are you filming me for?
Yeah.
Where is this going to end up? And, the way people dress now is a lot more revealing. So that also plays into them, especially women specifically. So that plays into you are filming and taking pictures of me and I don't know you and, you're a white dude and you're old and like, it just all plays into it. So that is actually a difficult thing right now, especially shooting younger and younger events as I get older and older.
Yeah. So DJs, this is how you can help. I just thought about this. I don't know if I've ever did this. I should. Get on the mic and say, hey, our camera guy's right there. Smile for him. He's with us. Like, just make it part of the event. Is like, hey, we're having a good time. We trying to capture it. So when you see the camera, give it up to it. Some people just don't want to be filmed, and that's absolutely fine. But if you're feeling reluctant, if a party goer is feeling reluctant, then DJs, event curators, hosts, we can help with that. We'd be like, hey, the same way we say, hey, don't be out there on your phone. Have a good time, be present. You can also throw in there, tip the bartender. Also, you see a cameraman, smile at them, show them you're having a good time. That's what this event's about. And I think that would help a lot. And I don't know if I've ever done that, but I'm going to start doing that.
And DJs, smile at the cameraman. Interact with the cameraman. I think a lot of times you got to give the cameraman some love. Sometimes and as a former DJ, I know when to come up and get in your face and when not to. But so many times, like the content is so much better no matter who you are, but especially as a DJ, the content is so much better when you look at the camera. Like, yes, I can get some stuff of you just doing your thing, but if you can look at the camera, get Reva great at interacting with the camera, and she gives me what I need very early on. I'm gonna go up there as soon as she gets the beginning of her set over, right? I come up, she'll give me what I need, and I don't have to bother her no more and be in her face the rest of the night with the camera, or the rest of her set with the camera, because she takes 15 seconds to interact with the camera, and then I got the shot. I know I'm gonna use that shot. I don't need to waste my time getting other shots of her just DJing that I'm not gonna use. So interact with the videographer.
And that's crazy, DJs, because this helps y'all. This is free
Absolutely.
promotion. This is content you can put up. So why not pose for the picture? I know we all camera shy because I used to be that person. But now I'm like, as soon as I see the camera, I'm smiling. I'm, doing whatever because I'm trying to help the person get the best image of me for both of us. This is for the event, but also like, hey, send me them pictures. I'm going to put them up. I'm going to tag. Also, y'all got to start tagging y'all videographers and your photographers and give them the credit they deserve. Like, I don't know why you don't.
Yeah, that goes a long way.
And I'm not talking about your friend that came up with the iPhone and took a picture and you giving them credit. I'm talking about the professional that's there. So somebody on IG might say like, oh, that's a great picture. I saw that. I should hire them. Mm-hmm. And that helps everybody out. Just the same way, like if they taking video of you, they're going to be like, oh, this is the DJ I was taking video of. So we're all creatives. We all need the help. So why not help each other out?
Yeah, and especially now in a content creation era, like I don't care as much. Like there, because of what I do for full time, and I don't even always post everything on my business page anymore. I took a lot of things down just so it doesn't. I don't care as much, but because I'm older. But these younger camera videographers, photographers, like that will go a long way. That will get you. That'll get you free content for real. Like if somebody else is paying, so if Orange Soda's paying me to be there, and y'all bring such and such DJ in, or you connect with the videographer after the event, oh yeah, I'll drop you these videos and photos, like I got them here, and you tag them or connect them with you you often you send out the files to all the DJs and so that they can grab their pictures and stuff, and that benefits the videographer or photographer.
And then when I send them out, the photos always name at Rigby.media on IG to make sure they know who to credit. Yeah. They don't always do it. And I don't know why y'all don't, but y'all should. Let's talk about the second part of event capturing, which is the most tedious part. That's probably why I don't do it full time, because I don't like doing tedious stuff. I don't know how I do this. Editing. Editing. I mean, we can talk mainly about videos because I'm sure that's a lot more tedious. Although there's probably more photos to go through. But just talk about the workflow and what that looks like. And if you want to throw something in there about data backup, you can do that as well.
Yeah. So my workflow is that after the event, the goal is to offload the memory cards onto an external hard drive. So I typically shoot redundant, which means I have 2 card slots in my camera. Lucky me. So I try to shoot photo and video that go to both card slots so that I have an additional backup. And then those go onto an external into a proper folder structure for the most part, that I can find is searchable and all of that. So then for photos, I use Lightroom. Pretty much put every photo into Lightroom from the camera, from the shoot, and then individually go through each photo and make selections. I do a tier-based selection. I pick all the good photos out and then give them 1 through 5 star, depending on. It just depends on the event. For Orange Soda specifically, I'll do like 1 star for all the DJs, 2 star for crowd shots, 3 star for face shots, 4 star for So I'll star them and tier them, and then I'll go back through and edit all of the photos that I picked. For video, I use DaVinci Resolve, and for me, I used to use Premiere, and DaVinci just is more in everyday user friendly, and I don't need It's all I need. So I use DaVinci and I really like it. What I do is I drop all the video into the media pool, and then I create like a master timeline. So I'll go through every single video, scrub through, every second of video that I captured, and pull down the best moments into a timeline. So I might have 20 minutes of video, or 15 minutes of video from an event that I actually use, and then I create the additional timelines for the content that I'm gonna eventually edit and put out, and then I'll go back through that 15 minutes to pick out the right vibe. It just depends. The song, the ask from the client, whatever. I'll go through the smaller amount of content instead of trying to go back through everything to find something. Like, I know exactly what I have and where to find it, and I layer those and similar. So crowd shots are on, crowd shots, face shots, DJs, and what have you. So that's the typical workflow. Export those into folders and get those out to clients. Yeah, really important to have proper backup and have proper storage before you delete files and footage. I've never had a moment in my short career as a photographer and videographer where I lost client files or had client files corrupted until recently, because I didn't have the redundancy in place that I should have had. So definitely important, more so for photographers and videographers to do that. But for DJs who are capturing your own content, I think my biggest piece of advice is, like, do something with that content that's on that on your phone. You're good if it's on your phone, I guess, but yeah, if it's on your DJI, whatever, or a camera, like, either have multiple cards so that you can put that somewhere where you're not going to use it until you need it, or offload that card and make sure you have all that footage before the next event or the next time you use that camera. Because, definitely too, like, technology fails. Cards are going to fail. You can have a $7,000 camera and use these cheap SD cards, and they're going to fail. Buy yourself. You gonna buy a $2,000 Sony EV1? Like, don't spend $30 on an SD card. Like, buy a better SD card. Search for the right SD card for the files that you're going to use. And then you're putting $100 thing or a $50 little piece of plastic into a $2,000, $7,000 thing, and the $100 thing is the thing that's going to fail. So you gotta make sure you have that footage, and those are tough lessons learned when when you don't.
Great workflow, especially the backup portion of it. Random question: How long do you usually keep files, video?
So I recently just deleted video from 2022 for clients that I have not heard from. But if I could, I would just keep it all. I haven't invested in the amount of backup and storage space that I need to keep all the video. For photo wise, photos are actually bigger. I shoot RAW, so those file sizes are actually bigger than my video files. So I actually only keep the RAW. I keep the exported versions of photos that I send and the RAW versions of only those photos. So I might shoot a gig. Orange Soda, I might have 1,000 pictures, but I'm only giving y'all like 150 photos sometimes. So, uh, 850 photos is gone. Yeah. Deleted, and I'm keeping the backups of the RAW and the JPEG export. But I'll keep most everything at least for a year, if not long. For like Orange Soda, I have everything that we've ever shot video wise, just so that we can go back to it. And then same for other events. But for a client, if a client books me and it's going to end there, one-time gig that we're not going to use that footage anymore. I'll hold on to it until I feel like I haven't heard from that person in a while.
Yeah.
Or I'm not one of their vendors anymore. Like once we're not connected, or I'm not doing your work anymore, that footage is gone, and I give them an opportunity to take it as well.
Yeah. I got 360 footage probably from like 2022. I actually got the video footage from that drive-in thing we did for Orange Soda, so I definitely need to go through and delete stuff. But I was recently going to buy a network attached storage, so I can tell you if you want 136 terabyte storage with in RAID configuration, so that you don't use half of it, and the other half is a constant backup, $1,500, and that's with you buying the case, buying the hard drives, putting it together, and doing it yourself. That setup, if you buy it like already assembled, it's like $4,000 or $5,000.
Yep.
Which, I mean, if you're doing a certain level of videography, if you're doing movies and stuff, it's worth it. But we're not. I'm not either. So
yeah, if you're an everyday wedding videographer,
yeah,
you better have that. Like that, because wedding wise, man, you got to keep that stuff forever.
Yeah,
honestly, because you never know when they're gonna come back, and that's more money. Hey, can we do another video, like our anniversary? Like you never know, like 10 years later, whatever. Like, hold on to that footage. Same for other clients are gonna call you 3 years later and say, hey, or that never download their photos. I have clients, i.e. Marlon Anthony events, that. Or man, somebody will hire me to come out, and I will shoot photos. I will give them a gallery. That gallery is online. It doesn't mean it has an end date. It's not going to be online forever. And they will download 2 photos, and then that gallery comes down. And 2 years later, they're like, "Hey, that gallery's not there anymore." The only galleries that I keep active are Orange Soda. And now we do that even a different way. I keep wedding galleries active, and stuff for everything ours. Like everything else is coming down. Download your photos. DJs, when you hire a photographer and they give you 50 photos from an event, download the zip file, save the photos. Don't just download the 3 that you like.
So this is very important, because DJs, you need photos of yourself, and you work these events. And so you and Mizzle, whenever y'all do something, when it goes up, I'm downloading the whole thing. I don't care if I'm in the pictures or not. And then so what I do is I upload them to my iCloud, so they're on my phone. And file organization, so I'm actually learning at Columbus State. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what they taught us, but I do year, month, day. Mm-hmm. And if it's more than one event that day, whatever the event was. And then so it's like for your photos, I download the zip file, upload it, and then I'll go in and find the pictures of me, copy them, and put it in a separate folder that says it's an identical file structure, but this is DJ Burn photos. Mm-hmm. So that way, if I need photos from whatever event we did 2 weeks ago, I can find them. If I need photos of me from 6 months ago, I can go in the folder and find it. So download all your photos. You ain't even got to unzip the file, but just download it so it's on your computer somewhere. Or if you download it to your phone, it goes to the cloud anyway. And then, like I said, unzip it, organize it, because otherwise you have to rely. Unzip it, you. But yeah, file organization is important. And if you have no interest in capturing content, photography, videography, any of that, the one thing you should learn from this conversation is that this is why this is not cheap. Because all of this is important, and just like DJing, just like anything else, there are people that are not putting effort into it, and you tell by the product. But the people that cost more is usually because, hey, I can call you in 3 years and you still got my video from my anniversary. Or like, I don't have to tell you what shots I need, because you're like, oh, based on this event, this is the shots I would have had. And so I'm giving you this. Like when you first start structuring the folders, the DJs, crowd, I'm like, I didn't even know to ask for that. But since you're a professional, you know to give that instead of just, oh, here's 50 photos, and some of them were even duplicates because you didn't even go through them to see. You just took whatever's off the card, you drop them into
Thousand, yeah,
Lightroom, and you auto export it on some setting. And I'm just like, this don't even make sense. Why
right.
there is a? I've seen some people do stuff like this, and there's a way to set it up to it auto switches. But there's some people that just automate it and don't even pay. And so I was like, it doesn't even make sense why you switch the camera at that, why you switch the angle, but you take the time to say, hey, at this talking point, it's probably better to go there. All of that takes so much time. You just told me that you go through every photo and video from every event. You know how long that takes?
Oh,
That's
bro.
way longer than it'll take me to edit this.
Yeah, it's equally. I spend more time, absolutely more time editing than I do at the actual event. So yes, my rates are built on an hourly rate. I don't charge additional for editing. I build that into my hourly rate. So a 4 hour event is also take into account all of the preparation time and editing time that that the event takes. So you also can't compare rates,
Right.
because you some videographers or photographers this is the in-person rate. This is what I charge per hour of editing. I don't think that's the right way to do things, but to each his own. But it's definitely, these are all definitely considerations. And the great thing about, I think back to Undefined Days, and I always think like, man, I wish I just would have done photo and video earlier.
Yeah.
But you can also pay. Yes, it's expensive, but for younger DJs, the younger crowd, like, get a team, get your team of people. Find somebody who's interested in videography, photography, and grow with those people too. Like, as a DJ, I think there are parts of you and others that are like unicorn, like you know what to do with the camera. Everybody just doesn't know or want to do that, and that's fine. But connect with somebody who wants to build with you. That they may not have the skills yet, but maybe they're interested, and maybe you're not that good yet either. There's a lot of DJs that everybody's not great.
That's exactly what A6 General said on the last episode, is that he was doing photo and
Yeah.
video first, but TP Cinema did
Mm-hmm.
that already. And so they're like, well, how else can I contribute? All right, well, I'll do the DJ thing as well. And so, that little pivot, because you're playing your position and, figuring out how you can contribute to the team, now
Yeah.
you all grow together. I can't think of a very specific situation right now, but I know there's some situation where some crew or around a rapper was like, all right, well, I'm gonna start doing a video, and now they're a world famous videographer because that was the need. So yeah, if you're up and coming and doing something creative and you don't have the skill to do the other thing, link up with somebody that you actually want to build with. Not just make it transactional, because that's not going to last, but either link up with other creatives so you can get to a common goal, or if you got homies around you, how can I help? Why don't you learn how to just come to the event? It ain't gotta be called videography photography. You at the events anyway. Pull your phone out, capture transitions, post on my story for me, and then that might spark their interest, and they're like, oh, maybe I can be a content creator. I can do this at a higher level, and then, oh, you do this for DJ ABC, come do it for me. All right, I'm gonna charge you for that, and that's how it works. So
And I'm cool too. Like, I don't have this conversation a lot with people, but man, I am cool with trades. We can trade. I like, if you ain't got the money, then and you're willing to. All right, you don't have the money to pay me to come do video, but I have my son's birthday party or something. You can come DJ that. Like, we can trade. We can. Once you connect with people, you can find ways around. Because photographers and videographers, you could absolutely just be forking over your whole DJ income for the night for somebody to come out and do photo and video for you,
right,
because it is more than just that 2 hours. Like, all right, you got paid 200 for your set, and here's, you're just passing that 200 over. You could find other ways to, work together, to support each other, and so
It
you're not
goes
spending
back.
all that money. Relationships.
It goes back to I say this so much, making things mutually beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
So if I need a videographer and I can't pay you, I can't just be like, oh well, it's me and
Yeah.
it's gonna be lit. That don't benefit you. But if I say like, hey, if you come capture this, a little later down the line, I could either DJ something for you for free, or the next gig, which is already
Double up.
locked in, I'll give you a full rate.
Yeah.
Or this, I'm hesitant to say this because we got to be realistic. This sounds like paying an exposure, but if I know this content is going somewhere important, I'm gonna let you know, and then you can decide whether it's
Right.
worth it.
Absolutely.
But like,
You
I'm
might-
not gonna flat out say this is gonna be good for you because it's gonna be exposed. Like your 300 followers on IG is not exposure, my boy. Like I'm like, that's not gonna help you out. But if I know like, hey, I need photos for something huge I'm doing, can you take care of me real quick? And then and you do it, and I'll make sure I take care of you in the back end. But like you said, it's all based on I'm clipping that up. But it's all based on, like you said, relationships. If I got a good relationship with you, like if I pay you 9 times and the 10th time I can't pay you, you can be like, all right, well, it's a one-off, but I see if I'm trying to go start an event tomorrow and it ain't making no money, ain't nobody making money. It's like, all right, well, I'll contribute my time and service because I see what you're trying to do and I build it up.
Yeah.
But when it is time to make money, don't go get somebody else.
Right.
Make sure you come back and pay me for all the times that you didn't pay me. So relationships.
Yeah, we had that experience just today. Is and as you build with people and have relationships with people, like I am not so tight on money and like contracts and like I'm not doing that with people that I people that I'm in relationship with, like that we do this together. So if I peep that the crowd isn't what, if I know you're not making no money on this, then I'm gonna say, yo, wanna call it today?
Yeah.
We'll pick this up next time, and yeah, like we'll take care of you for your time today. And 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna be like, nah, we good. We'll get it on.
Yeah.
We'll get on the next one. And then because I know that at some point, I'm gonna be made whole, taken care of, whatever financially. And y'all have also done that with Orange Soda specifically. We started out, the rates increase, right? Like
Yeah.
for
For
more
everybody.
you work with somebody, the party gets built up. Initially, it's a couple hundred people coming to the party, and now you have 1,000 people coming to a party. You're not going to pay me $200 to capture a party for 1,000 people, and you're not trying to get over on any vendor.
Yeah.
You're not trying to undercut anybody, and you can appreciate that. So if I show up to an Orange Soda where y'all are expecting 800 people and it's a snowstorm and 300 people show up, like if y'all were really like, dang, we about to take this L, and y'all haven't done this, you at this point you're willing to take L's, I think. Like it is what it is. It's a part of it. But I would more than have, oh yeah, we're good. I'll bust less of a sweat tonight capturing this event and maybe get out of here a little bit early. We'll get the things that we need and call it a day,
Yeah. Relationships. And that's why it's important. And I'm glad you brought that up. Because what we're also not going to do, when we're starting out small and you giving us a discount because we don't know where it's going to go, when it does blow up, we're not going to go get somebody else because that's crazy. You heard me? That's crazy. What's also crazy is that we start out small. Hey, I ain't really love language, for example. Like, this is what we can do. And you can clearly see this ain't no big money maker. And so now when we at the Newport, like, oh, you still got me for 150? That's crazy. like obviously everybody's making more money now. So that's why, to your point, that's why every year for Orange Soda, the DJs, the pay goes up, all the vendors, just all of them. Where the tickets price stay the same. That's crazy. But no, I've been in situations where I'm like, I gave you this rate because I understood the vision. But then now when y'all making money hand over fist, it's like you think you're gonna pay me the same amount.
Yeah.
And I've been in situations where this is important. All creatives. I'm not arguing over my price, bro. Like I can, some people can't. Some people just want more money because they want more money because somebody else get more money. But I can tell you exactly why I'm charging what I'm charging. I can tell you exactly why it's not what it was last year. And for me specifically, it's because I have more followers, and that's why you're booking me too. So let's not play dumb. But all this is just centered around having good relationships with people, especially when it comes to money. Like, do right by people. That's why, to your point, we take an L or not. What I told you I'm gonna pay you is what you're gonna get paid, because that's just the right thing to do. Even if you would take less, that don't matter to me.
Yeah.
like I want you to know it's never gonna be well, I don't know, depending on what happens, you're gonna get paid. Like, no, I said this amount, unless the thing just don't happen at all.
Right.
Like, whether we take an L or not, like, because it goes back to DJing. It's like, whether there's 8 people in here or 10,000, I still gotta be here for 4 hours. So unless there's a different type of expectation up front, good relationships are maintained by being consistent in the business. And that's no matter what. It's photography, videography, DJing, and all that. Be consistent, be a man of your word. And, then you don't have to ask for an exception because people know you good for it. Like today, it's like, that's the point I wanted to make, is that I've DJ'd those type of events where nobody showed up. And I was like, I'm not even worried about it. You know why? Because I know the next time there's an event, I'm getting the first call. So
Right.
I have first right of refusal because I didn't give you a hard time and try to make you sign a contract over $50. Like,
Yeah.
so
And
relationships.
we had a thing too, a couple, was it last year, where came out, shot the whole thing, tried to meet the need, and from my side, it didn't work out. Like,
Yeah.
what we were trying to do didn't work out. You had already paid me, half the money, and I couldn't produce. I produced a quarter of maybe what we initially went into it talking about, and it like, I felt bad, but at the same time, it's just like, this is a rare occasion,
Yeah.
and we were trying to do something that we hadn't done before. And we just learned from it, and both on both sides, it's just like, we'll figure, this will be made up in other ways.
Because you have a good
know what I'm
relationship.
saying? We have
And
a good relationship.
it's not because of our personal relationship, because that same event, the DJs told me the same thing. They was like, there's obviously nobody in here. I was like, no. I told you was going to get paid what you was going to get paid. I'm giving you the money. If I got to take it out of my own pocket, just because it's like, this is how you keep a good relationship and you do good business. Now, they definitely, all of them, all of them, they're not saying that to be friendly. They really don't care, and they also throw events. So it's like, this didn't work out, Burn, you don't have to. And I'm like, nah. We said we was going to do this, and I said I was going to give you this amount of money. Because it didn't work out, it's not because you didn't show up. It's not because you didn't ask what I told you, ask from you. So I'm going to still take care of you. And like you said, we were doing that for the first time. All these obstacles, we both didn't know this was going to happen. So we both trying to figure it out. So still, like, here's the money, and we'll just figure it out next time. So
yeah, and that, man, just work. Like, you can, when you say, like, all of this stuff costs money, it does, but, like, work with people. Like, as a DJ, like, understand, like, if you're asking for somebody to come and do content for you, and you want this specific person or this specific look, and you want a discount, that's cool, but know that at some point that you might be paying the full price. Like, that discount rate that you might be getting to initially work with somebody the first time isn't always going to be the rate. Like, as y'all grow together, like, everybody should be getting
we should be growing together.
Yes.
And the last thing, and then we'll wrap this up. The last thing on that point is that it's one thing if I ask you to give me a discount because we not making no money. But it's another thing where people just trying to cut corners so they can put more money in their pocket.
Right.
And that's pay attention to that, DJs. Like, you shouldn't be getting, if it's a bottle service club, why are you getting paid less than the bottle costs?
Right.
And especially if you're expected to drive sales of that bottle. If they ask you to change the song when the bottle come out, like, I'm not even get that bottle worth more than me. Don't you have them come DJ? Last thing that we can to wrap this up is that, what do you want DJs and event promoters, mostly DJs listening to this, what do you want them to know about media, capturing media at an event? Like what's the most important thing that they probably don't realize? Whether it's something you already said or just something that's like, hey man, this is why my job's hard, or hey, this is what you don't know, or hey, set your expectations differently, or let me be creative, or whatever you think they need to hear about capturing events from a media perspective.
I think it's just about having clear expectations. I would benefit. So you think about a corporate event or a wedding. You're gonna, as a media person, you're gonna have multiple, maybe a handful of pre-event correspondence with people. You might sit down at a Starbucks. You might go through a whole agenda. You're going to have back and forth emails. You're going to have a contract. You're going to have all these expectations put forth, and you're going to go into that event clearly knowing what's expect more. You're more likely to know exactly what's going to be expected of you. So I think in the nightlife space or DJs, if you're hiring people, you don't got to do all of that. Like, we don't have to have contracts and things in place for a few $100s to show up at an event or what have you. But set the expectations. Be open to having those conversations and tell the person what you want, what you're looking for, what you want the outcome to be. Because if you're on two different pages, you just hire somebody because of, man, so many times, like, people just see you with the camera and ask you to come shoot their event. They do your research. Sometimes I feel like people don't even do their research. Why are you willing to like hire me if you've never looked at my work before? Like, look at the work, look at the vibe, find the right person for you. Just because, and I have those conversations. This is what I can provide you. You want me to shoot, you want me to do nightlife events? Like, go look at what I've done for Orange Soda. Go look at what I've done for Hips, Everything Ours, Just Friends. Go look at that stuff. That's what you're going to get. If you don't like it, then don't book me.
Man, I feel that right here, because it's like, oh, you do flyers? I'm always like, do you have inspiration? If you show me something, I'm like, I can't do nothing like that. I'm the wrong person. Or, yeah, I mean, that's right in my wheelhouse. Or you saw a different flyer I did. It's like, hey, can you just make something like this for me real quick? Yes, I can. But
Yeah.
if they don't even know what, to add to that, I don't know if you were done, I'm sorry. If you're going to hire somebody to be creative, just like a DJ, if you're going to hire me to DJ, let me DJ. Of course, you can give me guidelines of what you're looking for, but if you're looking for something very specific and you don't say it, don't be mad if you don't get it. Like, I guess that's the balance between, like, being familiar with your work, knowing what you're going to deliver, but also knowing, like, if what you've done in the past is what I'm looking for. If I'm looking for, this is as simple as, if I'm looking for a drone shot, you don't even have a drone. What are we talking about?
Right.
But it's like, I'm also not going to tell you, like, hey, I need the drone to rotate 90 degrees at this second. It's like, no, like, hey, here's some guidelines. Here's what I'm roughly looking for. And just know that it's the creative eye, because I'm not shooting this video. So I don't expect you to get it exactly the way I want it to look. But if I need, hey, this scene, or it could be as simple as, hey, I want to show everybody at my party having fun and dancing and highlight the DJs. That's it. Now, if I tell you all that and you're like, man, you ain't get none of the bartenders, well, one, bro, you didn't ask for that.
Yeah.
But I also am not going to be like, hey, I need 30 seconds of me.
Right.
I need to. So it's a balance of, I feel like, knowing your work, your previous work, knowing if it's the vision I'm looking for, and giving you guidelines and knowing that you can take it to where I need it to go.
Yeah, it's a like treat it just treat it like a business. Like you are the subject, you are the business, you're the one asking for the service. Have those conversations, be clear, and then please, 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 if you get a video and y'all have worked out that you have there's going to be get a round of revisions, like go through the whole thing, give a full and complete list of what you're looking for revision wise, because the next, like, that should be it. One round of revisions. If all of those, if everything you gave that videographer, that editor, is checked off and they did their job after that first round of revisions, you should not be asking for more revisions. So be mindful that prices are typically built in to the hourly rate. Revisions, like I built in my editing prices to the hourly rate. I built in potential revisions to the hourly rate, but it's not endless.
Also, I don't think people realize this. You can't go change the song. Like,
Oh my
bro,
gosh,
if you change the song, like
everything changes.
even if it's the same BPM, it's still like, because you timing stuff with like drums and kicks and all that.
Bro,
Like,
I'm timing stuff when a song says the word face and it's somebody's
yeah,
face, or a
or
hand in the
or
air and it's a
love. Like I
hand in the
do,
air.
like,
I'm finding somebody with their hand on their heart out of 4 hours of footage. You know what I'm
bro,
saying?
like you can't don't change the song. I literally just got a text for a flyer I did. It said, "Oh, sorry, bro, I forgot. Can you add this on there?" So when I say, "Hey, can you give me all the text that needs to go on here?" I've actually had this, and we'll wrap this up. I'm like, uh, oh, they're like, "I don't have a text yet, so just can you make the flyer and make it look good?" So I didn't know this before I knew who I was dealing with. I was like, "Okay, here's the flyer." Like, all right, they gave me the text. I got to move everything around because
Doesn't fit.
it's so much text that it's messing up the whole integrity of the design. So this person, I'm like, "Hey, what I need to know exactly what it's going to say so I can lay everything out, or at least I can leave spacers for the text." But when you like, yeah, this, and then it's, and then before with this person, they know now, but before they was like, all right, can you make the flyer? And it's like, oh, I need a banner too. That's completely different dimensions. I got to move everything around. So when you're hiring people to do video and photo, like you should probably set the expectations up front,
Yeah.
because a lot of the creative edits and everything are centered around that. And when you change it, it changes everything. And then you're going to be mad when you charge for that revision. But I literally have to sit down and spend another hour of my day, my free time, to do this.
And here's the last thing that we'll pivot so it don't feel like we're ending on a down note,
Yeah.
telling people what not to do, but what to do. Here's a great tip, especially if like you're trying to balance your money and all the things. Pick an event that can last for multiple months. Like pay somebody, pay if you got a great event coming up, say this is the time that I'm going to give my whole check. If I'm doing an orange soda and I know I'm doing orange soda in Memorial Day weekend.
It's going to be a
Like,
banger.
it's going to be a banger. I'm going to give my whole check to this videographer, whatever. I'm going to give him a few $100s to come in and capture these things. We're going to have it all laid out that, this is content that I'm going to be able to use, you know, from that for a month. You can get 4 or 5 videos that out of one thing. So you can definitely be strategic. You don't have to have people come out to every event. Be strategic. Think ahead. How do you want to build your content calendar? What do you want to use? And find somebody that's willing to work with you to do that.
DJ, just as important as setting expectations with promoters when they hire you, set the expectations for the people you hire to capture your media. First of all, pay somebody if you don't want to do it yourself. Pay them their rate, just like you don't want to be lowball. Don't lowball them. build good relationships, all the things that you want people to do to you, promoters and vendors, you want them to treat you. Treat the people you hire that way, and it makes it better for everybody. Seems like every episode we do is going to be 90 minutes because it's a lot of good information, but I'm sure you learned something from this. So if you did, share this with somebody else that might learn something from it. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you follow at Rigby.media on Instagram. Dot. There's no dot?
Nope.
Oh, it's at Rigby Media on Instagram. It's Rigby.media is the website.
Website is gone. But
it's at Rigby Media.
Yep. I'm cheap.
I got rid of EarnestPage.com too because I was just wasting money. But yeah, that was put it on record. Next week, I'm going to be in LA for NAMM, so I'm going to try to do a podcast while I'm out there, probably with Chubby Swag, so we can talk about all the cool DJ equipment we saw and all the cool DJs we met and the ones that aren't cool that we met. And then after that, it's going to be Recio, so we can talk about health and wellness as a DJ. But we appreciate y'all. Leave a comment. That's it.